to Bad Larry.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Bad Larry Kingdom. I'm your host, Bad Larry, and today's episode continues in the epic Inferno saga with part 26, New Mutants number 73, and the last New Mutants issue in this series. So if you'd like to see more New Mutants, let me know in the comments below. This issue is dated March 1989. It's written by the unparalleled Louise Simonson and drawn by Brett Blevins. And as a treat, this is a super double issue with 41 drawn pages. Now let's rate that cover. This cover I rated a 96%, 96 out of 100. Colossus looks great holding what looks like the dead body of his sister Illyana, and her teammates are distraught in the background. The coloring, the shading, the emotion, the background, it's all making me want to pick up this issue and read it. Well done. I don't know why Brett Blevins insists on drawing these extremely provocative and somewhat sexualized poses, face down, ass up, knowing this character is a teenager at this point. Anyway, in the last episode, Noster left the Darkchild mentally somewhat broken. He has given her a choice: accept her full dark side and be Noster's bride and take over the Earth with him and be under his protection, or deal with Sim here. Well, she's currently dealing with Sim. Everyone wants her soul sword. The soul sword is kind of like Excalibur, but for Limbo and demons. Whomever holds the sword is kind of the rightful ruler of Limbo. Sim wants it and is going to fight for it or trick her into giving it up. Sim wants to use psychological warfare against the Darkchild, whispering in her ear to fully embrace the dark side, the evil. Now that she's a hideous demon monster like them, now that she's lost her human beauty, she might as well say, let's just join the demon side. No one is going to accept her on Earth, no Earth people, so she might as well go full evil. Illyana is not having it. She fights back. As long as her soul sword, she has it, she feels she's still in the fight. She knows that she has the power a la He-Man style, and with the mighty swing, chops dirty old Sim into tiny pieces. The problem is that Sim has the techno-organic virus. The soul sword hurts him, but the virus puts him back together like the T-1000 Terminator. Then battle ensues. Sim keeps coming, the Darkchild puts him down, he comes back, and the cycle repeats. It seems the only way for Illyana to fully beat Sim is if she completely accepts the evil side, goes full evil. Then she'll have too much power and can defeat Sim. She knows this is what Noster wants, though. She has a tough choice to make here. Now that Noster has infected himself with the techno-organic virus, he now has the power to turn the streets and the buildings into a nightmare, cartoon Roger Rabbit style. While Rusty Collins, Skids, and Danny Moonstar stay back at the church to watch over the 10 rescued mutant babies, the rest of the New Mutants and the Exterminators head out to try and find Illyana. She may be the only one that's able to turn the city back to normal. The city streets are contorting around the flying heroes, trying to crush them boa constrictor style. I wonder where all the humans are right now. The New Mutants and Exterminators are literally destroying the city. I mean, the city is trying to destroy them, but where are all the civilians? Colossus is stomping along, grabs up a demon, and demands intel on the location of his sister. Colossus tells us that Illyana fell into Limbo at the tender age of 6, became ruler of Limbo, and returned to Earth 8 years later. So that gal is only about 14 or 15 at this point. Lots of power and lots of responsibility for someone that age. Colossus now, he's immune to the effects of the demonic energies that have on people, mutants, the world, inanimate objects. His organic steel skin protects him from all of that, which is why he's solo. If you remember, his fellow Outback X-Men have fallen victim to the demonic energies, changing physically and mentally, becoming possessed, which is why he's on this journey alone. He is still in his right mind. I very much like this look for Colossus, this Outback Colossus, with no shirt or upper body attire. I think it's cool and more practical. You know, when he transforms from his normal human looking self into his armored Colossus version, he grows from 6'6" to 7'5". So I would think, like the Hulk, he would be ripping out of his costume every time he armors up. Plus, he's got organic steel skin. Why the need to wear the costume? I do like the more modern forearm gauntlets, though, over the old ones, and I like the higher boots. But I also like the older belt. It looks more like a weightlifting belt, symbolizing that he is the heavy of the group. I also like this higher hairstyle drawn here, but let me know what your favorite costume is for Colossus down in the comments below, or maybe your least favorite. The demons inform Colossus and us, the audience, that the time is not linear in Limbo, which is important for later in this issue. But the demons also tell Colossus that S'im is now in charge of Limbo, which is news to him. I do like the familial connection between Colossus's power and Illyana's power in her transformation. Colossus can transform his skin into organic armor at will, and now his sister has transformed her skin to be fully armored as well, but demonic armor. Their family mutation is similar, but not the same, which I think is cool. And now that the little demons are jumping on Colossus, they look to deliver him to their master S'im. In this timeline, Professor X is not the headmaster of the New Mutants. Magneto is. The other Hellfire members are blaming Illyana, Magneto's student, and the New Mutants for unleashing this hell on Earth. As Magneto sees Colossus, he's shocked, as he and the rest of the known world believe the X-Men to be dead, which they're not. They're just chilling in the Australian outback. But before he can manage another thought, the newly upgraded Noster teleports in, looking to make a truce or an ally out of these powerful mutants. Noster proposes that he and Magneto rule the world together. Obviously, eventually Noster would betray Magneto. He is a demon still. As the New Mutants and the Exterminator kids barely escape the city's attack on them, they pine for help from the adult mutants, like X-Factor. Well, X-Factor is currently busy, and in part 29 of this series, just 3 more episodes from here, we will find out exactly why in X-Factor number 37. But suddenly, Wolfsbane spots Magneto, and the team are weary of asking for his help, as he's mainly been a villain. But some think that he's reformed. Well, it looks like it's the end of the world. What else do these young mutants have to lose? Wolfsbane has that super wolf dog hearing. And these young mutants hear a negotiation happening with Noster and Magneto. Just when they thought they could go to Magneto for help, they changed their minds. The help is talking with the main enemy right now, Noster. Well, it's best to skedaddle. Battling both Noster and Magneto together, that's a death sentence right now. It looks like the demons have beaten up and knocked out Colossus and turned him into a giant metal statue. He falls unconscious at the feet of both S'im and his sister Illyana. Illyana also believed the X-Men to be dead, including Colossus. So everyone saw it on TV, everyone saw the X-Men die. She can't believe it's him, for real. Imagine that feeling, thinking that your brother to be dead and then poof, there he is alive, only for this ugly demon S'im to immediately threaten to kill him again. Oh heck no! The intense battle between Illyana and S'im creates so much energy and light, it's like a lighthouse to the New Mutants and the Exterminators. They have finally found Illyana and are on the way for support. As the New Mutants get closer and closer, they even debate saving Illyana. Rude. They are kind of blaming her for bringing all this chaos to Earth. And when they haven't seen her fully armored up like this before, so they're all in shock by her appearance. Wolfsbane realizes they must save Illyana from herself. The more she battles with S'im, the more she's falling into this deepness of darkness, one which would cause them to lose Illyana forever. They must stop her from rage fighting, save her from herself, which is why Warlock snatches up Illyana. Time to take a chill pill, baby doll. Now that the New Mutants have temporarily rescued Illyana, they need to book it to escape S'im. get some time to breathe, collect themselves, figure out a plan. As they travel through a pawn shop, the items break down the very nature of Illyana's role in life, as is symbolized through chess pieces. This is why I love Louise Simonson. Very clever analogies and parallelism. They are traveling through a quote-unquote pawn shop, and Illyana has been used like a pawn her whole life, moved around on the board of life by someone else always dictating her actions and movements. And just like in chess, if a pawn makes it to the end of the board, it can become a queen. And just like in chess, there are light pieces and dark pieces. So Illyana, the pawn, became the Dark Queen, ruler over Limbo. But just like in chess, the game must eventually end. But someone forgot to tell Colossus to stop fighting, and he perfectly form tackles that bastard Saim right through a glass window. What I like is when Boom Boom says, "Who's Colossus?" Most of these young mutants, especially the exterminators, have never met Colossus or the X-Men. They believe them all to be dead. As Colossus looks upon his little sister in her armored form, he is taken aback, shocked at her appearance. Illyana tries to hide herself. She also ashamed of her appearance, this demonically transformed, armored up version. I don't know why he would be so shocked. He can armor up. It's not that crazy to think that his full-blooded sister wouldn't be able to as well, in some form or another. Personally, I think she looks badass. Illyana is broken. She tries to run through a stepping disc, but her team follows her through. She is super depressed, and now they're in her throne room in Limbo, surrounded by demons. Back on Earth, the demon Saim is using typical old demonic mind tricks to get at Colossus, blaming Colossus for what has happened to his sister Illyana, saying he abandoned her. Look, people, don't fall for these devil tricks. You make decisions for yourself, and those decisions have outcomes. The greatest power you can have is accepting that you, yourself, well, as an adult, is the only one that has any earthly power to make you do something. You always have a choice. Sometimes the best choice is the harder option, like walking away from a toxic person or a toxic job without a backup plan, or simply choosing to be happy when whispers in your ear tell you to moan, bitch, and complain. You always have a choice, and so do other people. If someone is blaming you for their lives, it's a lie. You are only responsible for yourself as an adult, and for any children you may have, but that's it. Everyone else is responsible for themselves. But people are easily manipulated, especially emotionally regarding their family members, and these demons know that, which is why Saim here is pushing those buttons, getting into Colossus's head, knowing his techno-organic virus will put him back together after all of Colossus' attacks. Meanwhile, the demon horde knows Illyana is back in Limbo. As demons, I guess they can feel her essence down there. They believe she will call the demons back to Limbo, so they head out to recapture the 10 mutant babies, as they are so delicious to these demons. These demon minions pick up Illyana, who is now becoming more and more the Darkchild. They are worshipping her as their Dark Queen, placing her upon the throne of Limbo. The Darkchild is emotionally giving up her humanity to rule Limbo fully, full time, giving up her friends on and her life on Earth, fully accepting her role as supreme leader of Limbo, powerful, special. She says being on Earth is for basic bitches. Saim is taunting Colossus. Saim knows the Darkchild is back in Limbo, and even though Saim can't physically truly hurt Colossus, he tells him that he will never see his sister again. She is lost to the darkness. Sometimes that emotional knife in the heart hurts worse than a real cut from a blade. These demons know where the 10 mutant babies are being held. They can smell the power emanating from them. Now it's up to Rusty Collins, Skids, and Danny Moonstar, who is severely concussed, by the way, to protect these 10 mutant babies from the swarm of demons looking to recapture them and take them back to Limbo as snacks. The Valkyries have given Danny Moonstar the ability to see death approaching. Danny can see that death is nearly certain for all of humanity now and passes out from the pressure. Back in Limbo, the Dark Child's power is growing. The more she accepts her fate, accept the darkness inside of her, with that, her little magic looking mirror is restored and she can see happenings on Earth. She sees her brother's battle with Sam. He looks like he's losing. She sees the visions of death from Danny. She sees the end is nigh. But the Dark Child makes a choice and goes hyper white light. Her fellow mutant and friend Rain, aka Wolfsbane, knows what's up and runs to her, like she can do anything to actually stop her though. Rain reminds us that back in New Mutants number 71, episode 23 of this series, that in Limbo, there exists the 6-year-old version of Illyana still running around. They saw her because time in Limbo is all together, the past, the present, and maybe even the future, which is definitely important to understand for events to come later in this issue. Wolfsbane is jumping willy-nilly through stepping discs at random, hoping to run into the child version of Illyana. These young New Mutants feel like if they save the child version of Illyana, take her out of Limbo somehow, they can in turn save the current teenage version of Illyana, who is being lost to the darkness. Jump, 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 and they have found her! They have found the child version of Illyana! But where are they going now? Uh-oh! The dark current version of Illyana has joined the chat, all hyper white, all powerful, and smacks the shit out of herself, well, her younger self, wishing that she had died back then so she wouldn't have to go through this torturous process of her soul slowly dying piece by piece to become what she is now. Oh boy! Illyana she just keeps evolving! She has found her ultimate super final form, full power, almost like the Phoenix. The husk of her former form falling to the ground like an empty shell. The final form Dark Child looks to kill herself, the child version of herself, thinking she will prevent all of this from occurring. But killing the child is the dark way, the Limbo way. Rain says, what if we save the little child instead? It all comes down to this choice. This final form Dark Child says that, according to Naoster, every choice she makes down in Limbo leads her down to the same path, to the same outcome. The path of pure darkness, the form she is now, pure dark energy. But with all this power, the Dark Child chooses to remove herself from existence. Well, this version of herself. What will happen then? A strange wave of demonic fire blasts up from the earth, sucking in all the demons on earth and calling them back to Limbo. That strange energy is coming from the Dark Child herself and grows hotter and whiter as she throws her soul sword up. This piece of her actual soul, the most powerful and darkest part of her soul, she throws upward. The soul sword pierces the darkness, unveiling a blinding light. Ash covers everything. Rain has lost the little child version of Illyana. She had her in her hands. Where is she gone? Sam knows the deal. His battle with Colossus is coming to an end. He is a demon still and must return back to Limbo on the wind like the rest of those dirty bastards. Bye-bye, Sim. Back at the church, Danny Moonstar regains consciousness. Her death visions have vanished. All the demons are being swept away by these winds of fire. So Gossamer stays with the little babies at the church as Rusty, Skids, and Danny run off to find their teammates and friends. In the rubble, Rain sees the husk of her former leader and friend Illyana, limp and lifeless. The armor is all busted up and broken. Everyone's crying. Illyana chose to sacrifice herself becoming the white-hot light that drew all of the demons back to Limbo, saving Earth and everyone. And all Colossus can do is hold the shell of his lost sister in his arms. Oh, that tricky trans-dimensional temporal limbo physics! The child version of Illyana remains. She has emerged from the husk of the Darkchild, free from the life she would have led in Limbo. Like those torturous years never happened. Back to the 6-year-old child, Colossus's little snowflake. Epic writing by Louise Simonson. All the New Mutants have saved the child, but lost their friend, the Illyana they knew. But in the end, was it worth it, right? Yeah. Now the innocent version of Illyana can grow up, make different choices. It seems like good has defeated evil, right? All is back to normal, hunky-dory? Well, that may seem like the case, but the powerful Darkchild has been reduced back to a powerless, weak little girl, while the nasty Naaster has had a major power upgrade with no one to oppose him right now. He has manipulated humans before as a demon. He knows he can do it again, and he plans to rebuild the bridge between Limbo and Earth using those human souls, the souls of the weak and the innocent. So just when we think the battle has been won, the war continues. Wow, I love this issue. I rated this issue a 97%, 97 out of 100. It was darn near a perfect conclusion to a major character's dark arc. I really love learning more about Illyana and this canon through these few New Mutant issues. The writing of Louise Simonson is almost always an A or an A+. Some of the art panels cost this issue a few points, but regardless, I rate this issue an A+, and I definitely recommend it. And stay tuned for part 27 of the Inferno series. This thing isn't over yet, people, with the Fantastic Four coming at you in issue number 323. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you real soon. Peace.